Just proud of the way that your unit was able to go out there and perform the way they did tonight.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's the effort that we're looking for, and not the result that we want. And there's a lot of guys that are hurting, but that's good. It's good to sting, but because it means you put a lot into the game. And I'm extremely proud of the effort that they gave. They did not flinch, and now we gotta redo it again. So
On the goal line stand and then the other third and short play, fourth and short, how much of that was the defensive line just being stout or overall team effort? What went into that?
Well, whenever you're trying to defend a goal line situation or third and shorts, that's where it starts. It starts with the big guys over the ball, and obviously you have to go back to the tape because when you get into a sneak situation or some kind of split zone, just tighten inside. But it looked like there was no movement whatsoever. So obviously, I thought they did a great job. Jordan Wright on the fourth down on the goal line did a nice job coming off the edge once he saw the ball was handed and was able to get after the back. So again, it's a team effort in those situations. It's when it comes down to 6 inches or 1 yard, it's about will and who's going to man up in that moment. And so I was proud of those guys. A couple other third downs we were close. They got us on the one run. We were trying to get a little pressure and see if we could make a play happen. And then a couple of them, it's hard when the ball gets stuck in the middle. We had some designed pressures, where if the ball's a little bit more on the hash, we can get a little bit more aggressive. And it just felt like the ball was always hovering around the middle of the field today, especially on third downs.
Brad, you hold the top-ranked team, one of the top-ranked offenses to 16 points, and yet last week, wasn't quite the case. You've talked yourself about the inconsistency this year. Have you been able to put your finger on that a little bit more?
You know what? I think you can look at that at any level of sport, and I talked about it after last week's game, and it's hard to stay focused and up and each and every week, and game flows are different and situations are different. So yeah, I think there are some things that maybe when you go back and you look at, and whether it was a scheme issue that week, whether it was an effort issue. The one thing that I'll say about these guys, I really don't ever second guess their effort. They play hard. It's not always clean. It's not always perfect. We kept rolling into the next wave and level of guys, because of injuries. But it's that time of year, and they keep plowing away and stepping up. And the next guy, he steps in, and we got to get some of those things clean. That the communication isn't. When you have to switch out a guy or a guy gets hurt, the communication may not be quite as clean. But to answer your question, that's kind of a convoluted way of saying that you're going to have that during the season. It's not that we accept it. It's not up to our standard, but you understand, and what you do is you hope and pray as a coach that when you have a game where it doesn't cost you. And last week, it cost us there in the 2-minute drive, but they responded in situational football this week. We talked about forcing field goals in the red zone, and we did that 3 out of 4 times. We talked about trying to be good out of halftime. That's where we'd been playing so well in the first half of games and struggled in the second, and we come out, we get a pick on the first drive. So that's, they are trying to respond to the things that we pinpoint, as the critical areas that we need to improve upon the next week. But like anything else, there's always a little brush fire here or there that you have to try to put, because when you focus on one thing, then maybe another thing gets, slipped or out of focus, and you have to go back to that. So it's a continual process. But we need to show up next week, because obviously it's a big challenge.
How did you contain Bowers and Washington, their tight ends?
We had some.
Or just team defense?
No, I think it was good team defense. I think we tried to have a game plan, so we always knew where they were. Obviously, we caught a break early in the game, first drive. Washington sort of got free on the stalk and go. That's been a play that, obviously we work, because they've had a lot of success on it, and they've hit a lot of people, and we were lucky their timing was just a little bit off, and they missed that throw. But no, nothing. I think the guys just executed the game plan. They again, it's about identifying where he is and where he could hurt you. What are the situations? But obviously, we got a little bit leaky in the run game at times. And that's what, good backs that are going to run behind their pads, a big offensive line, a good scheme is going to do to you. And at times, probably, when you're looking for a Bowers play, or you're looking for a tight end play, or you're looking for something to 84, you're going to play a little bit softer in the run, because you're like, okay, if I run down full speed every time, then I'm going to let one over my head. And so there's some give and take in that, and we understand that as coaches. That's why they're the number one team. They've got good players, good scheme. They know how to execute. But I thought, again, our guys did a solid job of executing.
Was a lot of pride into it, after this tough loss against Vandy, our morale was high, trying to get back into the swing of things and just playing our hearts out.
What did it mean to you as a defense to make those stops?
It meant a lot to us, trying to get our offense back into their groove early in the game, it meant a lot to me, knowing that no matter what, my defense and my teammates got me.
When you do have a loss like that last week, how do you get your spirits back up?
Just having a 24-hour mindset. We get to soak in it that Sunday, but then Monday we coming back working.
I guess not so much as like a moral victory thing, but I guess y'all can take positives away. Does it give you some reassurance of what you guys could do, especially with bowl game and one more regular season game?
It gives us a lot of reassurance, but we knew what we could do. We just had to get back into our mode, I should say.
What did you think of the Georgia offense?
They were great. I'm not gonna lie. They got some big old linemen. They're very stout. They got some great running backs, great receivers. Tight ends make plays, and Spencer Bennett, he's a good decision maker. So they were great offense.
Gonna get your first taste of Louisville rivalry next week. Are you excited for that?
Of course I'm excited. There's Louisville, but they have a great team. We still gonna have to prepare sometimes, like a little bit more than we prepare for Georgia, because they have a good team. Playing with a running quarterback, Malik Cunningham. We have to learn how to contain them, but I feel like we got a good. Our morale's good.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you, Dean.
Zion, just what was it like to play on this stage against the defending champs?
It felt good to be out there with my team, help them do what we do best, is play football. My whole life I've been prepared for this moment, so just taking advantage of the opportunity.
Zion, I thought you had some impressive open field tackling. Is that something you consider a strength? And how did you see that?
Actually, before this season, it was a weakness of my game, so I just took it into the off season and just made sure I focused on doing that.
You all made some big stops on 3rd and 4th down. What was kind of the mindset going into those plays, and why do they work so well for you?
Yesterday, Buster Douglas came and talked to us. He talked to us how Mike Tyson knocked him out, but he got back up and kept fighting. And so all game, you could just hear Coach White, Coach Stoops just telling us, just fight back, keep swinging, keep throwing punches, and we kept fighting.
How do you feel like the team morale was just all week after what happened against them?
all week we were just like, we got to get back and we got to, play better. We got to get back and then get our best, play our best next week, playing the #1 team in the country. So you got to bring your best.
As a defense, were you all particularly motivated because of that last round?
As a defense, we were turned up all week. Everything was full speed. We were locked in. So we just knew today we were going to come out and put together a good performance.
Obviously, you don't feel great after a win, or after a loss, sorry, but did you at least feel like you all did put a lot of good film out there on tape to kind of regain some momentum?
I mean, like Coach said after the game, we passed more victories, but credit to Georgia, they're the #1 team in the country for a reason, but we definitely came out and played, and we didn't roll over at any point in the game, and we played from the first quarter to the end of the fourth quarter, so shout out to my guys. I just know it's a big rivalry. I don't know much, but I'll learn soon.
Coach said you guys had emptied the tank this week for preparation. Obviously, it's going to be your first taste of this rivalry. How do you feel like you guys, what's the mindset in the locker room after looking forward to this game?
We got 24 hours to get over this, come back on Monday,